Hello everyone, welcome to the Infotech channel. Today I will let you know about AWS API Gateway. If you are working with a microservice architecture in your project, then you have multiple endpoints for different services. API Gateway will help you to provide a single endpoint to the front-end team, so they don't need to manage multiple endpoints for different services. So today I will help you to configure API Gateway in your project. So I want from you to please like, share and subscribe if you like this video. If you recently visited in API Gateway, then you can see API Gateway over here. If you not visited, then click on the services here. Now click on all services. Here in alphabetical order you can see API Gateway in the top. API Gateway, click in API Gateway. It will land you to the page of API Gateway portal. You can see there is a create API button in the right side. Click on the create API button. As I am creating HTTP APIs with the API Gateway, if you have worked with WebSockets API, then you click on the WebSocket API, REST API for REST API, HTTP AWS services. So here I will work with HTTP API, so I will click on the HTTP API and build. Now create an API. Provide API name here. I am providing test API. You can provide anything. Okay, click on next. Configure routes. You can configure route over here, or I can also configure in the later part. So I will configure it later. So clicking on next. There is a default stage name if I am not adding, so I am going to add one more stage, that is dev. Okay, here in dev stage I am not clicking on auto deploy. I will deploy it manually to show you how can we deploy it manually. Click on the next, and there is the API name. This is a review page, review and create page, routes and stages, and click on the create button. It will create your API. As you can see, test API is created, and two endpoints is created like default stage and dev stage. I will create one more stage, that is staging. So if you have different stages, then you can as much as you want, you can create stage. So those endpoints will be different by this part dev. If you are create stage dev, then here it will be written stage, and the earlier endpoint will be the same from here to here for all the stages. Now I have to first create a route. So here click on the route link, click on the create button. You can choose any of this method as per your requirement, but here I am choosing any. So I will create a single endpoint, single route for a single service. So and I will put a proxy, so every route will be handled by the single route. I'm not going to create many routes for many routes in my services. Actually if I have 100 of routes in my single service, then I have to create 100 of routes here. So here I am creating any route, so I will handle all my service routes in a single route with proxy. So here I'm providing the service name login service. So suppose it is a login service, and here provide the proxy plus. So all child routes will be handled by this endpoint only, proxy plus. Don't forget to give plus here. Now create this route. This route is created. Click on any and configure this any route where this endpoint will go when the request come to this route. So you can also provide attach authorization over here if you want to protect your route. So here I'm not going to give you attach authorization so I'm skipping this part and coming to the integration part. So click on attach integration, create and attach integration. Now choose the integration target. From here, the below drop down integration type. Here I will select HTTP URI. If you have a Lambda function to configure API gateway with Lambda function, then must choose the Lambda function. And I have here HTTP URI, so I am selecting here the HTTP URI. Now integration details. Here you have to provide your endpoint in which the server your code is there. Like I have this endpoint, this IP and this port. So I can configure this directly from here. I will provide the endpoint here. Okay, so I'm not going to provide the URL here. I will provide the I will create a stage variables, so can use multiple anywhere that variable. And if later part and if the port number or IP change, then I will change at only single place, so it will reflect everywhere. So I'm going to the stage part, clicking on dev and click on the here you can see the your stage details. Currently I have no any stage variable, so first create your stage variable, edit and add a stage variable. So in a stage variable you can store your variables in a key value pair. So creating the key name like base URL and pasting it over here, value, host and port number. Actually I cannot put the whole URL in this value because I will in the integration part I have to enter a proper URL, so I will enter HTTP there. That's why I am not putting here the whole URL. So I am here creating value over IP, that is the host, and 3001 is the port. Now save it. Now I have created the base URL stage variable in dev and go to the routes parts again. Still I have not created any integration, so again there is a screen of attach integration, create and attach an integration target, select HTTP URI. Now in the URL part, as I show you the problem where I have not to put HTTP in stage variable, because if I put the HTTP variable over here completely, stage variables dot base URL, and if I go to click on this will throw an error. It will say that the URL is not proper, invalid HTTP endpoint. So that here I have to put HTTP. Okay, that's why I have not put it HTTP in a stage variable. And you have to also put here proxy if you are creating a proxy endpoint. Proxy here, don't put plus sign here over here at the time of integration detail. Now click on the create button. Our integration part is done. If you want to remove this integration, you can click on the detach integration. If you want to make any changes, then click on the manage integration and click on the edit, so you can make any changes over here again. Now go to the route. If you have selected manual deployment, then after integrating your integration part, then you have to deploy it manually. Click on the deploy, select your stage and click on the deploy to stage. Now you can see that is deployed. This stage, dev stage is deployed for the login service. After completing your integration part, click on this API, test API, which I have created. Click here and copy the endpoint of dev staging and paste it over here. Now I can access with this endpoint dev. Here the message coming not found. Now I will copy this part, v1 register API. This is still coming message not found because I have to provide the go to the route. I have created a login service. You have to copy this login service. Proxy part is from v1, so after dev you have to provide the proxy login service part, route name it, and you can see the route can be accessible from this API gateway endpoint. Here you can see. Now if I choose this route, v1 register generate password, v1 register generate password, for we can access also this API. We have created proxy API endpoint because we don't want to make and every time make a route for different routes in our service, which is in our service. So I have created proxy, so it will handle all the routes. If I put here anything, then it will go to 404. As you can see, this JSON is returning from our server. So in this way we can create API gateway endpoint for our services. I have created single. Now I am going to create API gateway for one more service. So click on the route, provide this resource name, that is billing service. It is I am also providing creating this as a proxy plus. You can also get an idea from this info link. Here you can suggest you that how can you create a proxy URL. If you provide a ID, that is a parameter type, like anything you can provide after the pets, so you can get idea from here. I've created one more service route, that is a billing service and proxy plus. So every child route will be handled by this route only. Now I want a different endpoint. Here you can see the IP is 193.78. The port number is 3001 and here the port number is 3003. I will configure this port number with this service. So first I have to create a stage variable for this. Going to the dev stage, edit, click on edit of the stage details. Now add one more stage, the billing service base URL. I'm naming it billing service base URL. Okay, now copy the endpoint, my own endpoint, and paste it here. Remove HTTP things, which I've already told you why I'm removing it from here. Save it. Copy this billing service base URL, go to the route and billing service, click on any of the billing service and attach integration. Okay, you can choose your existing integration, but I'm not going to attach the staging data because this is a different environment variable, that different stage variable. So I'm going to create one more integration. Integration type will be HTTP URI. Paste your endpoint here like HTTP stage variables dot billing service base URL, and don't forget to put proxy here. Now save it. Now with the same endpoint, I can access the different service, that is a billing service. So you can see that password is still working, generate password. Now I am copy this route path from a different service, that is a billing service, and paste it over here. Now I can access this billing service API gateway URL for different service. Just change here login service to the billing service, because I have given here the route name billing service, and after that there is a proxy. So copy this path v1 all FAQ category and paste it over here. Sorry, we have to deploy it, if as I have make changes here, so we have to deploy the stage, copy and deploy dev. Every time you have to deploy if you have not chosen automatic deployment. So click over here, and you can see we can access the different service from the same endpoint. Till dev, the endpoint will be same for all your services. This is a billing service is your route for different services, and this is from here, this is your proxy plus. So I have given proxy plus because it will handle all my child routes, and I don't have to create every time a new route in AWS. So that's why I've created proxy plus, and it is recommended to create proxy plus if you don't want to create every time a new route for a new route in your service then. So this is my different services API gateway URLs. I can access this also v1 country route also from the billing service, because this URL is from billing service. Now paste it here, and as you can see I have country API is also accessed from this API gateway endpoint. And if you have a different environment, that this is a dev environment, okay, and I have to create a staging environment. So click on the stage, the same routes will work on your staging environment also. That's for that you have to create one more stage name stage, provide the same thing in staging environment in description, and I will add a stage variable because I have used stage variables in our integration parts. That's why we have to create a stage variable for staging stage also. So here my end, you can add different endpoints in your stage variables. As I have the same stage variables, same API, I don't have the multiple, so I will copy this and use create a stage variable in staging also. So click on stage, edit, and go to add stage variable base URL, paste it over here, save it, copy another stage variable of dev, that is billing service base URL, copy this, go to stage variable and edit, add one more stage variable billing service base URL, paste it over here. You can change your host and IP also for different staging different environments. So paste, save it here. Okay, now my endpoint, you can see the endpoint is changed of here. Only this part is changed for different different stages. That is a stage. So deploy this stage also, staging stage, deploy to stage. I have deployed this stage also, and I now this is two environment, dev and staging, and all the routes of dev is will be also available in the stage, which I have already created these routes, billing service and login service. So if I want to stage service, staging stage environments routes, I can access from here. Just change the dev to stage, and you can see it is working. In this way we can configure API gateway in our microservice architecture, so front-end developers doesn't have issues to manage multiple endpoints for different microservice architecture. In this way you can create AWS API gateway to your project. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.